Good morning, boys and girls of Salina City. How's it going? I am Mr. Cassidy, and welcome to the special session, number 4. And today we've got another special guest, but first, let's go ahead and introduce back Mr. Griffin. Say hi, Mr. Griffin.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. It's good to see everybody out there.
And introducing today our special guest, Miss Day Real from Mission Park.
Hey, everybody. Good morning, my mighty Mustangs.
So, thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Of course. Anything for you guys.
Yes. Yes, anything for us,
The music teachers, most important in the district, right?
Music teachers.
Well, that's right. Bring light and joy to the district. Twice a month for me, I think.
We try.
That's our goal. Boys and girls that are watching, thanks for coming in today. Remember that on these sessions, I turn on the chat. So that means that if you have any questions for Miss Del Real, you have any questions for Mr. Griffin or myself, please type them in. I am looking over to the side right now, looking at it. No one's there yet, but I'm certain there'll be some questions. So please feel free to do that. And I hope you guys enjoy the special session today. Mr. Griffin, do you want to start with the questions, or do you want me to start with the questions?
Yeah, I'll ask her the first question. So can you tell us a little bit about your influences, like who is inspirational to you as a artist or singer? Or
Well, with music in general, my whole growing up as a kid, my parents were very musical. My dad played the piano and the organ. My mom played the guitar. She would literally at night sit in the hallway while we were going to sleep, and she would play the guitar and sing us songs. So I would say that my parents they were my biggest influence with music. They exposed me to so many different types of music. My mom, she was super into the Beatles and the Carpenters, and my dad was into Air Supply. So we had so much music around us. We went to church, so we sang hymns. We were in choir together. So for me, I would say my family and my parents were my biggest influence for music.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, you hear that a lot sometimes, even from like the artists you mentioned there, the Beatles. I think their parents really played a lot of music. His Paul McCartney, his dad played a lot of piano, and John Lennon's mom played the banjo, and so you hear that a lot.
Yeah, and I think that's a big thing, right? If you're exposed to something and you're around something, most likely you're going to take an interest in it. Maybe not exactly, right? But, just like anything, if you're around it a lot, you get influenced by it,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, good. That is good.
Yeah.
So the family. Go ahead, Mr. Cassidy.
No, I mean, absolutely. I think most people could probably say that, right? That their family was the one that influenced them, or I mean, you at least had someone that you almost consider family that like pushed them into music, right? Yeah, and I think that's super important. How about another question? When did you start playing music?
Well, my parents used to always say that I was singing, almost before I could talk. So, I mean, yeah, I've been singing since I could talk. But in elementary school, I started playing the flute. I think it was 4th grade I started. Back then, they had music class. I think it was twice a week. Mrs. Debnikoff. I don't know if any of the older folks know her name.
It's amazing. It's amazing how we remember all of our music teachers, right? I mean,
yes. Yeah, I know, because I had watched your guys' previous one, and they remembered their music teacher. But I guess I remember her a lot because she not only taught me how to play the flute, she taught my sister the violin. We had almost a little orchestra, and it was during school time, which, gosh, I mean, you guys are incorporating those things now, but when I first started teaching, we didn't have anything like that in the schools, and that's a real shame. But anyway, so I played the flute for, until 8th grade, so 4 or 5 years, which really helped me to start reading music. And, once you can read music, it just transfers into so many other things, especially singing for me. I did play the piano for about a year. But my parents, unfortunately, they let me quit, and that is like one of my biggest regrets was not being able to play the piano, because when you sing, it's just so much easier to perform when you can play your own instrument and accompany yourself, right?
Right.
So yeah, so
Well, you started on a pretty difficult instrument then. The flute is a pretty difficult instrument to master, right?
Pretty difficult to play and sing too, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly. You can't do both at the same time, right? I didn't think about it that way, but you are correct. You know, but you know, I was really lucky though too because of church and my friends that I had some really great musician friends. Like my friend Brenna, she was an amazing pianist, and so she would accompany me all the time. We would, duets. We'd sing Broadway songs. I got into country music. There's just so many different forms of music that I was able to do because of my friends. And I think that's a really important thing too. Is when you find people who are interested in similar things as you, you just form like this bond, this connection, which to me, music does that just in general with so many parts of life,
Oh yeah, that's why they call it the universal language, right?
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess you already answered our other question about what instruments you play, but then what's your favorite to play out of that, or what's your favorite? What's your favorite?
My voice. Yeah, my voice
go.
is my number one instrument. I actually haven't picked up a flute in a very long time. But I mean, for me, singing was always just a way to express myself and just a way to experience different emotions, I remember being in my backyard for hours, swinging on the swing, singing the soundtrack from The Bodyguard, Whitney Houston songs. My poor neighbors. I think of it now and I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't think that one through.
I will always love you 1,000 times a day.
1,000 times. And I didn't always hit the notes. So imagine that's like.
I was going to say, you didn't pick exactly easy songs to sing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I had the bar raised pretty high for
Whitney's
Houston.
Way up there. Yeah.
Yeah. But, just, gosh, being able to share stories and even though they weren't my own stories, but just being able to use my voice to convey messages and stories to people, just, it still is with me today. I mean, in class, some people laugh because I do use music a lot to teach different concepts and stuff. And most of the kids love it. I'm not going to say 100%, I'm sure. But that's one way I learned things too as a kid was with music. I memorized different things I needed to learn through music. So yeah, I would say my voice is definitely my favorite instrument.
Yeah, it's cool that you say that because it's cool you say that because you don't think about it, right? That your voice is an instrument, right? And I've heard you many a time use it in class. So you're one of those teachers that sings along with us. So that's cool too. When we come in.
When I can, if I'm doing other things, right? Multitasking. Yeah.
Multitasking. Yep.
Well, and your voice is free. But just like, learning any instrument, you can get better and you can get stronger by practicing. It's a muscle in there, your diaphragm,
Mm-hmm. Takes a lot of practice a lot of good lessons online too, for vocal coaches and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. There's so much more available now than there used to be. I mean, we didn't have the internet. We had an encyclopedia or a dictionary,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
cool for the kids.
And that's something we've talked about being able to take music classes online on YouTube. And you can do the same exact thing with your voice. There's plenty of vocal trainers out there that have done lots of different, that have YouTube channels all set up for you to learn how to sing better, right? And harmonize and just so much there, right? So definitely something you can do on YouTube right now even.
Oh, yeah, kids. Definitely.
So this is not a question we've asked our other interviewees, I guess, at this point. So in high school and middle school, did you participate in choir?
Oh, you bet I did. In middle school, I went to Hardin Middle School, the Hardin Huskies. And we went to a few competitions as a choir. I remember, when you get solos in a choir, that was like, I got the Pocahontas solo and the Little Mermaid solo, and that was like, wow, so in choir, like you said, you learn to harmonize, and that just takes your singing up to another level, right? Like, but luckily, you know what, my mom, she was really good at harmonizing, just, making up her own harmony. And I would listen to her, and it just taught me with my ear how to harmonize with melodies. And so, so transitioning that to choirs was like, it was a little bit easier for me because I already had been exposed to that. And then in high school, choir, I did choir. Again, we went to some competitions. What was it? Oh, I used to sing the national anthem at football games. Oh. So whenever North High was playing football games, I'd get to sing the national anthem. And choir was a great thing too, because not only was it, just extracurricular, but it was a class in school. So it was like an elective. And we got to do something that I love to do for an hour, a few times a week. And I couldn't believe that I was getting credit for doing that, for doing choir, because it was so much fun.
Yeah, we try to tell the kids that, that there's going to be opportunities like that in 7th and 8th grade. And so they're getting the foundation here in elementary school, and then they can apply it when they go to 7th and 8th. And then and even high school, we have some great programs around here that are still going strong in Salinas. So it's good.
We do. We even have Sam's School of Music.
Yeah,
that's
a good one.
I have a student who is involved in that. But there's just so many opportunities. It may not be a career, but it's definitely nice to have a hobby of some sort, to have, a skill, because it's just nice to have. Yeah, and choir is definitely one to take advantage of, especially if you don't, you maybe, some people are nervous to sing, solos, which is independently on their own. And choir kind of like, it hides you a little bit if you need it, if you're not as strong here, so if you don't necessarily want that spotlight right on you,
But you're more of the extrovert type. You're the one that likes to be in the spotlight then.
I wouldn't say I am anymore, but I was definitely.
I was just saying, from your personality here, you can tell, right? I mean, and that's okay. I mean, and we get that all the time with kids. They're kind of shy, but they kind of warm up as they get more comfortable with it. So, I mean,
exactly. Yeah. And it's awesome that you guys have these choices for kids to do. Like I said, when I first started teaching, we didn't have this in our district. Only, like a specific school might have these extra things like choir or any of the instruments that you guys are teaching. So it's really awesome what you guys are doing.
Well, thank you. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks. And before we move to the next question, there's a couple of your colleagues, other teachers at Mission Park. One stating, we are so lucky to have Miss Del Real at Mission Park. And another asking, will Miss Del Real be singing for us today?
Oh, my goodness. Who asked that question?
That would be Mrs. Lawton.
It's all anonymous.
Sally, oh, my goodness. Put me on the spot. We'll see. We'll think about it. Okay. We'll think about that one, Sally.
Well, I guess we have to do Whitney Houston now.
Gotta warm up for that one.
Better warm up, yeah.
Well, another song, another question. Another song. Another question. What was your favorite way of listening to music growing up? So we know Whitney Houston was up there on the top of the charts, but what was your favorite way to listen to her?
Well, what I believe I had a Walkman. Well, it wasn't mine. We had 6 kids in my family, so I'm sure it was my brother or my sister's Walkman, little headphones, tape. And that's what I would use to swing. But I wasn't allowed to listen to KDON, the station. And so I remember sneaking a little AM FM radio like this big in my room and listening to KDON, trying to hide from my parents. So that is one way I would listen to music. But live music, as far as, someone was always on the piano every night playing songs. We'd, stand around the piano as a family and sing, and, nothing formal, just enjoying each other's company. So I would say that's probably, my favorite way that I listened to music when I was younger.
That's a really cool thing, because I mean, not all families get to do that, so that's a blessing right there.
Mm-hmm.
I actually, my wife's family, they were really musical, and so when I came into her family, it was like, wait a minute, people sit around and sing and play piano, and
right,
yeah, that's
and
not
enjoy each other's company. What?
Yeah. It's a great thing. It's a great thing.
Well, and even now, now that we're all older, every time we get together, we jam out. I'm the singer, my brothers all play the guitar, my sister sings, she plays the piano. So it's like we kept it going. It's not as often, but it's definitely a tradition that we have in our family now.
That's great.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah. I have lost my questions. There we go. So what is your favorite song right now?
Oh, that's a hard one.
Yes,
that's
it is.
That's a very difficult question. I would say, though, my favorite artist right now is Ed Sheeran, and not his, the ones you usually hear on the radio. I love all of his albums. There's just something about his style and the lyrics that he writes that really, certain ones, not all of them, speak to me and just, make you think certain things. Like there's one called, what's it called? Flowers. Oh, Supermarket Flowers. Oh my goodness. Oh, I cry every single time. So maybe that's one of my favorite ones right now from him. But definitely Ed Sheeran right now. Yeah. And it's been that way for a little while. Yeah.
Really? I haven't heard that. I haven't heard that song.
Oh, look it up. Supermarket Flowers, and have
Maybe
a tissue. Yeah.
If Mr. Cassidy and I needed a good cry, we know where to go now.
You might. Well, it depends, right? Because that's the thing about music too, is depending on your life experiences, like certain songs might speak more to you than to someone else because of what you have experienced in your life.
Music is art, and art is supposed to convey emotion, right? If it does not create emotional response, it's not art. Right?
Ooh, I just got the chills. That's a really good one, Matt.
Getting deep now. Mr. Cassidy's getting deep.
What about aspiring musicians? What would you say to them? So, I mean, we've had some guests on who are talking specifically about what to do if you're playing guitar or anything like that. But what if you want to sing? Well, what would you tell aspiring musicians if they're interested in singing? What should they do?
Well, first I would say don't give up, because like I said, that's my biggest regret, is giving up playing instruments. I mean, anything that is good in your life is going to take work, and that's okay. That's what persistence is. And I would tell them, as far as voice goes, is take advantage of all the opportunities that are there for you. I mean, like you said, YouTube has so many videos and tutorials on how to strengthen your voice, and like you said, how to harmonize. So definitely take advantage of the resources that you have. We have 2 awesome music teachers who luckily are giving a little bit of vocal training, and so these are definitely resources that we should have you guys take advantage of, and they're free. That's the amazing thing about it.
It seems to be the recurring theme we keep hearing from everybody is never give up. Don't give up. And actually, it happened to me too. When I was growing up, I had classical piano lessons, and then I quit when I was about 13 or 14. I got rebellious, but fortunately my rebellion too was picking up the guitar as well. So but I wish I would have stayed with the piano longer, because then I could have learned how to read music, which is a whole nother skill. I can read the basics, but not like some people. But
right. And I can read the vocal parts. I can read the different parts, but yeah, I wouldn't be able to play something. That's for sure. Yeah.
But for the students, that's a biggie there. Just don't give up. Keep on persisting. It's going to be a challenge, but you got to just keep on persevering.
Comment from Mr. Dillander in the chat, kind of adding to this, saying, use your time to do things to help you improve yourself and your talents. I like that. Especially during this
Yeah.
time when we have time, right? I mean,
Yep.
you could be spending it just sitting on the couch, and I know it's hard to get motivated, right? But just this is the perfect time if you're interested in an instrument or interested in music or whatever you're interested in to spend this time to, keep working on those.
Right. I totally agree. Yeah, we have this opportunity. While yes, it's a struggle and it's different and we're adjusting, use it for something positive, like improving yourself and instruments and your voice. That is definitely a way to improve yourself for sure.
Yeah, the one thing I know, because I did the same thing, right? I played piano when I was a kid, and I bounced off of it, and I feel the same way. I wish I would have stuck with it because now I would have been, it would have been so great. But that being said, I think that we have talked about in previous sessions too, though, that you kind of you bounce from instrument to instrument. Musicians do this, right? And you don't always stick with one, and maybe you don't like that one as much. Maybe the flute wasn't as interesting as wanting to then sing, right? Because you found what you were into, and I think that's okay too. The important thing is picking up instruments and picking up, and singing and working on these things and finding what you like, because music's so big. There's so many things you can do in music, right?
Exactly. Yeah. It's almost endless what you can do. I mean, even mixing music and, working digitally with music, if that's your thing, it's just a way to express yourself,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, creation's a whole nother thing too, right? Because now the kids, they have access to GarageBand and Logic and all those software programs. They can get on their iPhone and create music,
Yeah, I'm
So-
hoping we can get a guest. I have one in mind. I think I know who I think you know who I'm thinking of, Mr. Griffin. Someone in mind from one of the schools that I think can help us with this on one of these. I think get into the creation aspect.
more of the engineering and creation side.
Yep.
Now I'm curious. I'm curious what you're thinking of. Yeah. Guess I'll have to stay tuned.
Yes, indeed. Well, that's pretty much the end of our questions. Two things then. By the way, you still have a minute or so in chat. If there's a question you have for Ms. Del Real or for one of us, please ask it in chat while we kind of finish up here. So two things. One, coming back to the question that got asked again, would you like to sing, Ms. Del Real?
We'll give a little snippet.
Okay.
I didn't warm up or anything, but
right.
yeah, let's do this. A little Whitney. Wish me luck.
Okay.
It brought me back. It brought me back to my childhood. You know what I mean? So Sally, this one's for you. If I should stay, I would only be in your way. So I'll go, but I know I'll think of you every step of the way. And I will always love you. I will always love you. Ooh. But whoa, I was so not warmed up. Sorry, guys.
Oh, it sounded great. Nicely
Very
done.
nice.
Sally, I'll give you a private show next time.
Wow.
Oh no, that was
Talk
excellent.
about a tall order in the
Yeah.
morning. Whitney Houston in the morning. Wow. Excellent
Warm
job.
up before you perform. That's the lesson
Yeah.
you gotta learn there.
And now you have experienced the hardest part of Mr. Griffin and my job.
Yeah.
Oh,
Singing in the morning.
right? I know, I do it with the kids, but it's different when you're with a classroom full of little ones,
Absolutely. There is a lot of emojis going of people loving it, and one comment, fantastic, thank you.
Oh, that's so sweet. You guys are awesome. I am so glad that you are part of our district and you're bringing music into the classrooms. It's been really great, and I really appreciate you guys.
Thank
Right
you.
back at you there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right back. And the teachers too. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, before we end, is there anything, as the comments keep coming in, maybe I'll finish out with a few more of these comments, but is there anything you would like to say, finish out, anything about music or anything, that we haven't covered?
Gosh, well, I mean, I would just say, like you said, it speaks to you, and music just brings emotions. It ties memories together. I was at the Tim McGraw concert last year, and I know a lot of you out there were there as well. And wow, it just totally transported me back to a time in my life where, things were different. And I think it's almost magical to me what music does. It helps you remember good things and bad things or struggles in life. But that's something that is so beautiful, is that it takes you on these little roller coasters, and that's part of life, feeling and experiencing things. And I just feel like music is a huge part of that.
Definitely. Well said. Well
Yeah,
said.
absolutely. Last couple comments here. Wow, that's before the warm up. I can't wait to hear you again. And then, yeah, Miss Del Real, you are amazing. Thanks for brightening my day with your beautiful voice.
Oh gosh, I'm gonna get a little. That's so sweet. Yeah. Wow.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. Really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you guys for having me.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that was great. That was great.
And
Sorry, I can't play more instruments. I should probably start working on the guitar or the ukulele or something, so I can, take it up a notch, improve myself.
What better time than now?
Right? Because I have so much time. 3 kids, yeah, and teaching, yeah.
Exactly.
We all do our best, that's for sure. Oh my goodness.
Well, before we go, just wanted to go ahead and plug the few things that we have for music. So we have, remember that cngmusic.com is where you can find everything to do with the music program here with Mr. Griffin and myself. You can go on, there's links there for Google Classroom where we have assignments, I think 5 weeks of assignments worth now. So if you have not done those, go ahead and catch on up. And then remember that we are live here on YouTube at 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. almost every day. And then we have live on Google Meet at 10 a.m. every day, except for Friday, where we are here doing this. So I hope you enjoyed our session. Thanks again, Miss Del Real, for coming. And I think that's going to be it for today.
And thank you guys, and thank you all who tuned in. Follow your dreams. Keep it up.
All right. And I will answer one more question before we go. Yes, this is being recorded. So once I hit end stream here, it should be up on YouTube and you're ready to post into your classrooms if you would like your kids to view this.
Definitely.
All right. Well, thanks again. I will see you guys later.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.